All right, I believe we are live, and if you can hear me, please let me know. So, to get started, I'm going to do a few introductions. I am the owner of Section8Consulting.com, and today I'm running some special guests. They're going to be a couple of hosts here, including Mama. And as promised in my prior videos, I would show you all the kittens. And as you can see, they're in the box, so you can keep an eye on them while we talk a little bit. So, it's Sunday afternoon, and I just want to make sure we've got good sound and video. Today's a day where we can, well, I guess Sunday afternoon, we could talk a little bit about some of the housing issues that some of you may be facing. As many of you know, a lot of people can't get answers they need. And you'll have to excuse my little host. They sometimes make a lot of noise, but that's all right. So, and I promise it's not a stunt to get people here. So, anyways, if you have questions, now would be a good time to ask those questions. Otherwise, I'm going to start talking about the housing market and the condition it's in, and some of the challenges that many of you may face. As it stands now, we have a little over 40 days left before summer ends. And as many of you know, summertime is one of the higher peak seasons for Section 8 housing, and there's a lot of difficulty there. Oh, well, I knew that was going to happen. Don't worry, folks. Those cats jump all the time. There's a blanket down here. So, one of the neat things about having kittens in your videos is very hard to keep your focus. Trust me, they're in my hair all night because I put the box by the bed. So, anyways, back to the back to the video. I'm sorry. So the housing market becomes difficult during the summer because we're in peak season. So a lot of you that have been attempting to get vouchers may have noticed a lot of housing authorities are closed, and then the housing shortage across the U.S. Some of that impact throughout Florida, parts of Texas, California, Nevada, and parts of the Upper East Coast from New York, New Jersey, all the way down to Massachusetts. We might have another jumper. I don't know. As a matter of fact, I'm going to stop real quick and show you the one of the bigger of the three. This is well, it depends. He's not going to let me. So, anyways, as you know, the market does become a little bit overstrained, especially in those particular states. So, what we're starting to see a trend of is a lot more housing authorities warning, boy, this was a bad idea. Oh, come on, Papa. Come on. You are a mess. Let's see if he does better on my shoulder and not pee on me. We've had lots of incidents of pee. Folks, if you put kittens in your bed, expect the unexpected. I had to sleep. I woke up wet, and it's been a long time since that ever happened. I'm going to stop real quick and just answer a few live questions and other people commenting. Sherry Hope, hi, how are you doing? You're out in California. I feel your pain out there. We do know the state of California is pretty tough when it comes to housing. They are beautiful. I appreciate you saying that. Lady TH, I am, goes on to say that I am moving to Virginia and wasn't able to do that at the time. But would you still do it for me? The area is Woodridge, Virginia. Well, I remain committed. I mean, as I've always told many of you, whether you're a client or not for my company, I remain committed with these all clients. As many of you have seen, I'm working on 50 states, 21 years, around 712,000 clients a year. So it's never a question of whether I can. It's a whether or not the market supports, you know, you being able to get housing, whether or not there are vouchers available, and whether you're willing to move. I think that's more about what's usually about. Come on, Papa, please. They're good kittens, but for a video, it's again a terrible idea. All right, so now one thing I want to bring up real quick is starting Tuesday, this Tuesday. Now this is the live video. This live video is on 7/17/2022. As of Tuesday, our company, our position before Tuesday has always been that we would not provide housing search, apartment searches, home searches, and so on. That we have been strictly the focus of getting vouchers and so on. As of Tuesday, we will be offering that service on a limited basis because it is, well, there's mom. And when she starts humming, she wants to see the kittens. So, yep, she's fixing to snatch one of them. So, moving on. As of Tuesday, we will be offering This has got to be the wildest video I've ever made. Come on, Kiki. Come on. He's not going to stop. Come on, Papa. I'm sorry. Where you want to go? Let's go see Mama. Let's go. Papa, please. Well, he's not wanting to move at the moment. So, anyways, as of Tuesday, we'll be offering housing search. So it's it's very tedious, and it takes about the same amount of time in some occasions to be able to get housing. So we'll do it as a test run. If it becomes too perilous or too time consuming for my company to do so, we'll probably do a trial run for 30 to 90 days, and then we'll see whether it's equitable to do so. We'd be under contractual agreement with you guys, whether it be 3 or 4 pages. And of course, there are some things that we simply, within that scope, would not be providing, like calling 100 complexes. We're not going to do that. So I would say, in fair estimation, because of my career and the things that I do, and along the lines of Section 8 and vouchers that help alleviate that stress you guys tossing and turning, would be useful. The practicality of it is a lot more experience. Now, a broker and a real estate agent would have a lot more experience with market rate because of the, well, there we go. She is fixing to take Kiki, and that's it. Looks like the cat just caught the metro, and they're gone. That leaves us down to one. I don't know if you can see her. This is my quiet, and she's the runt. There she is. We have one Kiki left. So we started with 3, 4 with Mom, and now we're down to just one little Kiki. She's more quiet, and actually, she's not a Shih Tzu boy. All right, moving on from that. So we'll offer that, and I will make a video, I think, Tuesday, once we do full launch on that, and we can discuss that. Again, guys, this video is about answering your questions. As long as it's not overly sophisticated, I think that I should be able to address some of the questions on a simple basis. Also understand that I do not know where you live, what state, what county. Each housing authority has different policies and procedures. So I cannot give you a definitive answer. I can give you a broad answer, or the broad strokes of what you may need to know. Moving on, Jennifer Hamilton goes on to say, "What should you do when housing houses?" Okay, so it looks like you were trying to say you're on a waiting list, and okay, so you're on a waiting list. You're over the income. Well, you either reduce your hours, you reduce your income, or you'll be passed by. You'll be purged from the list. I mean, there's no two ways around that. Um, Now, if you've got a bunch of money sitting in a bank account, there might be some ways to address that. But if it's a running income that's received in a bank from direct deposit, that would be a little bit hard to change. Another thing is you could port the voucher into another county where the received incomes for that county are higher, and then you would not, it wouldn't affect anything. But you haven't received it yet, so. Sherry Hopes says, should I move out of California to find housing? Almost everybody I speak to in the California area, except for those in extreme northern parts, I've been recommended to move for almost a year. Because not only is the market inflated, there's a lack of housing, 200,000 people that all want vouchers, and critical issues going on with the state at the housing level. Most of the people that have already left in the beginning have already inundated states like New Mexico and Nevada. So there's almost zero chance there. So yes, for a lot of you, I am recommending it. For those of you willing to hold out, then it would take a significant more time to find what you need or even get a voucher. Good Redmond, good afternoon and good morning. How are you? Miss having kittens. They love to climb even though they can always wake up wet. Yeah, it's when the kittens were first surprisingly born, about a month and 1 week ago, I'd set a place where the microwave used to be because the water heater's under it, and it was warm there, and it worked out. And then about 4 days ago, the kittens came alive, and I mean came alive. The kind that come alive with the little claws are like razors. I don't mind. I have mini cats. I have 19 to be exact. But Yeah, they come and play in your hair and then they pee on you, you know. And so the mattress has had some functional issues, and we're going to be. I bought a kitten area for them, and I'm going to introduce them to the great outdoors tomorrow when the temperatures are cooler more. So, all right, moving back to the Q&A for section 8. Jennifer Hamilton, am I supposed to make an appointment to turn in my pay stubs? What should you do? What should you do if your income's over but need that voucher? Again, on that, while you have a reporting requirement with under house contract for any housing authority to report incomes. If you go over 30 days, then it's suspicious. If you continue to go over that 30 days, it becomes more auspicious. I would say that you can report it whatever reporting way they like. If you've got your caseworker's email, then report it that way. If you want to be certain of all things that are important, go down to the USPS and pay for a $3 tracking number, put it in an envelope with your name, number, and address, and tell them you're reporting your income. So that's what you should do. Jacqueline Langley says, "Hi Jay, thank you so much for all your hard work. You do get all this information out to us, and I appreciate it from Georgia." Well, we appreciate Georgia too. I used to live there for a brief period in Atlanta, Augusta, and at one point I was near Stone Mountain. Uh, Moving on from that, Stumpy Dangerous, Kami, California. The guys, when we started engaging in political uh, issues, we'll be engaged in extremism, religious stuff that's extreme, and other issues. I have to put you out the channel. Okay? And so I'm not going to perceive that comment as bad yet, but if it follows with more comments, then yeah, can't do that here because this is not what this is for. It's not a Q&A for that type of comment. So, moving on next. Let's see. Vlog. My question is, how long will SSI be? So your question, so Vlog says, my question is, how long will SSI be around? Well, for as long as the government can support those payments, I would imagine. Remember, the U.S. government can continue to print money for as long as need be. So I don't see that it's going to end. Good Redmond says, can't say for sure if it was just coming through on my end, but the audio seems low and cuts out every couple of minutes. Well, I think that has to do with that connection. It hasn't been particularly good lately. We have fiber being put in, and for the time being, live videos and audio will be shitty. Okay, y'all just have to bear with it. And momentarily, sometimes it will cut in and out. There's nothing I can do about that. I've called everybody, including satellite networks, to see about different types of internet. There's nothing I can do to lay this fiber. It's a consequence of living in the country. I didn't anticipate this problem, but yes, the videos can be shaky and the audio can be trash. That's why I have this microphone nearly down my throat. I used to never have to put this in the video right next to my lips, but now I have to, trying to get through these videos. So moving on from that, anybody else have any questions they'd like to ask? Go ahead, and I'm going to try to adjust this microphone. See if I can get it up higher. All right, I think I've got it a little bit higher. So hopefully now that I'm breathing into the microphone, good Redmond, you can hear me. Beyond that, so as I mentioned on Tuesday, we're doing that. Also, we're doing a full launch for the Houston Rock Shop. For those of you that collect minerals, gems, crystals, you're a rock hound, stuff like that, you enjoy that. I turned a hobby into a company a long time ago, and we have a separate channel for that. So you guys are always welcome to check that out if you're interested in that. And I'll give you a link to it as well. Just give me a minute. And I'll wait for those questions. Anybody's got questions, now is the time. Actually, I just put up the website for it. We're still working on getting Houston Rock Shop up and running. A lot of stuff removed 2021 because of all the shipping and the nuts crazy things going on. So we'll be full launch for that, I think, August 1st. But we'll start new videos for those of you. You'll be able to see live products, stuff like that. So it has nothing to do with Section 8 consulting. City Survivor, good afternoon. How are you? Is there a way to use the voucher to purchase with only SSI and SSD? Well, vouchers are vouchers. It doesn't matter what it's connected to. If your intent is to purchase a home, utilizing a voucher, that voucher, instead of paying the landlord's mortgage, would pay yours. It is not a situation where you walk into Wells Fargo or Bank of America, you pull out your voucher and then say to them, give me a loan in a house. It doesn't really work that way for many of you. The reason I'm bringing this, a lot of people do believe that. I don't believe that you do, City Survivor, but we have a lot of people that have a basic concept. So it only matters that your housing authority offers the home purchase program and that you have a voucher. It cannot be used in a subsidized property where you have a subsidy or you're in a tax credit property. If you have any kind of voucher and the housing authority offers it, then you may participate in the program. If you don't know how to do it, or you're doing it too slow, or you're not sure you're going to suggest contacting me, because that's what I specialize. Well, I specialize in anything to do with federal programs, with the inclusion of Section 8 local housing, affordable housing, and so on. Stephen Gleason says, what are the best states to own as a landlord for Section 8? Well, Stephen, that's a ever changing market. I used to say California was really good, and Florida, because you can buy mega properties. I don't know what kind of ROI you're looking for and how much per key you're looking for, but I would say right now the Midwest is pretty much the place to go. Some areas, suburbs of Chicago, most of the suburbs in Texas, you're going to want to go in densely populated areas, but yet remain outside of the metropolitan areas. And that doesn't offer a lot in the Midwest, but I would stay away from the southern states, most East Coast and West Coast, and stay in the intercontinental U.S. Specific states would be, if you really wanted to buy cheap properties and you want to deal with people that are super low income and the state is exceptionally broke, and where you'd probably be able to get a lot of properties at little cost, I would say Mississippi, Alabama, and Louisiana would be the place to hit. You could get giant properties, probably at 15,000 a key. Complexes at 15 to 20 a key, and then you'd be able to pretty much be the number one Section 8 landlord, probably for that quadrant of the state. There's not a lot of competition in those states because most of the southern states are very poor, with the exception of Texas and Florida and Georgia. So Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas, you'd have a pretty decent market, but you'd have to be sticking really close to the metropolitan areas. Okay. If you're not going to do those states, then I would recommend that you keep going up the Midwest. Detroit's still a good market, despite what people say, and you can get pretty good key prices and ROI there as well. Cayman, Pishaw, where can you go and get an emergency Section 8 in Indiana? So all EHV, or emergency housing vouchers, should be administered by an organization called Continuum of Care. If you type that in along with the city name into Google, it should yield a result. I would give you a link to it, but I'm in the middle of a live video and I'd have to throw a lot of drama to get it for you. Well, I'll tell you what, let me just see if I can grab that link for you. And looking for it. Almost there. And here we go. I do believe I have it. All right, here's that link. You're going to link this, and we'll give you every continuum of care in the United States. Reach out to them, contact them, tell them your situation. They'll give you an assessment. They'll enter your score, HMIS system, and they'll determine whether or not you qualify for the EHV. As I've mentioned in prior videos about EHVs, the current president allowed for approximately 77,000 emergency housing vouchers. Of that 77,000, we are in the last 4 months before they evaporate. In other words, there's only 9,000 emergency housing vouchers across the nation. And the reason that there's still some is because most people have already gotten them. I would say that a rough estimate is 35,000 1,000 people are on the search for a home with their EHV, and about 26,000 or house. They're leaving a remaining balance of approximately 9 to 10,000 EHV spread out the U.S. In order to receive one of those, you would need to go through COC. I'll give you some wicked good advice. If you know they have a test and a manual, and the manual's got both the questions and answers, you probably want to hire a consultant like me, because that's one way to ensure that you actually murder their test. If not, it's a shot in the dark, okay? Look, we all got a hard luck story. I've looked at these manuals. I look at what they want, the kind of answers they're looking for. It ain't based on how you're doing and whether or not they feel sorry for you. Trust me, it does not work in a logical manner. And every state administers different types of operational manuals, including SPDAT, COC, BOSS system, and many, many others. There's a whole range of acronyms that they give them. And you could have one housing authority in one county, and the county 20 minutes later administering with a completely different one. And then there's subsection manuals that are prioritization tools. Those prioritization tools can vary from singles to families to mixed families to multi-generation, so on. All about having the right stuff. How do you get all that stuff? Easy. You spend a whopping 21 years fucking with it like I have. Well, I wouldn't say it that way, but I would say that if you're willing to spend a lot of time and money and research, that's how you get it, okay? Otherwise, you go to somebody that's already got it. Good Redman question was given 2-bedroom based on a reasonable accommodation for medical devices. Would like to see if I get approved for home health aids. Thoughts? Okay, when you start getting into care aids and home health aids, that would be administered through Medicare, Medicaid, and you would really want to kind of hammer down on a consultant that deals in that specific arena. I do my venue does cross a little bit as a consultant with Medicare and Medicaid, but I am by virtue no expert. They are the ones that generally pay for that service. Now, whether or not it gets approved would be more of my arena, and how would you get approved? So I can tell you about getting approved and the best ways to do it, potentially, based on your case file. Now, whether or not you actually get it approved and so on through Medicare and Medicaid, well, they've got people to consult on that as well. Good Brahman, or do they have to get approved through Section 8, Home First Aid? Well, you start with an approval process, and then after that, an application process through Medicare and Medicaid. That's how it will work. There's no inclusion between the two. All right, guys, again, this is a live video for questions and answers for Section 8. And if you have burning questions, we all know how the housing authorities are, in this nation. They're either closed, the door's been nailed shut, all the phone lines have been cut with scissors, and all the workers are at home. They're in their slippers and nightgowns, and they're watching Netflix. You better not call them. They don't want to be bothered. They're not ready to earn their paycheck this week. They're not taking questions. And when you call them, you'll likely anger them. If you don't believe me, call down and see whether or not you get treated like trash. That is a lot of what the housing authority has turned into over the years. And I don't think it's my opinion. I think it's the opinion of thousands and thousands of people I've dealt with. But is that every housing authority? No. There are places that operate very ethically and have a sense of conscience. But many more of the big metropolitan cities and lower, it's a pretty dog-eat-dog game, okay? Well, I'm going to keep scrolling here, see if anybody else has questions. Looks like my smallest Kiki is asleep. Mama Cat dragged off the other two. So that was our viewing. For those of you that are wondering what the hell I'm talking about, in the beginning of the video, I decided to include the kittens that my female cat had, 3 boys. And I wanted to include them in the video, but it went a little bit crazy in the early part. Cats were jumping around and taking a nosedive out of the box there. So guys, I think we'll be meeting up again Tuesday for a live video. I'll describe the service we offer: home search, apartment location, so on, as a limited service. And then for those of you that have been around my channel the whole time, and some of you have been here 5 years or longer, come join me on the Houston Rock Shop channel if that interests you, okay? Because I'll need to know when the microphone's not working and when the video is terrible. I already know that it's going to be a problem, but we'll just have to work through it. So guys, this is your last chance, last call for alcohol, if you have questions in relation to that. Now, what I'm going to do before we start wrapping this up is I'm going to give you all a couple of links. This is annoying. I was hoping this would fix the audio problem, but I think that it's literally the internet doing this to me. All right, so let me pull up information for you guys. So I'll put up information, appointments, prices on our website. Due diligence is required. Check us out. And I think, we reached 200 reviews. I posted about that. And we will also be reaching 20,000 subscribers. My fair estimation, I believe we'll reach 20,000 in about 7 days. And it's quite a feat. Imagine this. If you were a 10-year-old boy, you dump some diesel in your hair and you light it on fire, you get on your swing bicycle and you drive it off a 2-story roof, you will get 1 billion views and you'll make about 100,000 a week in ad revenue from YouTube. If you attempt to address a social issue that's important, like getting housing, you will make a to ever reach 20,000 viewers. So the fact that we've ever managed to reach 20,000 viewers is still astonishing to me. I realize that listen to a middle-aged white man talk about this stuff in monotone and talking about a topic that's not that popular. Nobody wakes up and goes, "Oh shit, let me go get entertained on Section 8's channel. I love to hear about a voucher today." So really, I just get the super desperate, but that's all right. And I also get people that want to learn and other people that are in a bad situation. So all of this is very surprising to me that all these years have passed and we're still doing it good. And we've built a really solid audience of people. And I think that my core audience is a lot of other caseworkers, social workers. I've been visited by .gov channels, over 50 of them from nearly every state. So we don't know whether or not they're investigating me or they're just seeing. And most recently, we were published in another magazine. Which one was it? It was The Inquirer or something like that. I posted about that. So we got picked up by national news agencies. It happens occasionally, once a month. So we've had a little bit of press, a little bit of audience. We also made videos for BOP, or the federal prison system, helping inmates. So I've had a few notches on the post, helping our little business here, help people get housing. Looks like another question here. So grateful for your advice on your channel. Thank you, says City Survivor. One thing I love about City Survivor, I presume it's a she. She's always a very broad woman. She's a lot like me, and I quite enjoy that. She's always very forward, very straight to the point. Sometimes funny, but sometimes if you didn't know that person, you think they were serious as shit. But I am quite entertained by her. Looks like we got one other person. I am. Interesting name of the day. So I am. Welcome to the channel. How are you? And looks like you said, well, hi back. Glad to have you here. If you're wondering about the box and blanket, that was for the Kittens show. I've had to reach all-time lows now. Outside of putting kittens in the videos, what else can I do to get one extra viewer? The desperate times, right? So, I'm only joking. So, all right, guys. Any other questions you have to ask? Please do so. Looks like we got 26 live viewers. That's good. So either I'm entertaining or they put me on a live channel at the mental health hospital, psychiatric wards watching me. City Survivor says, come in Houston. We have no sound. Uh-oh, no sound. I'm sorry to hear that. Well, guys, I think we're going to wrap it up because now nobody's asking any further questions. I think that we kind of addressed a little bit. This is just here, every Sunday to kind of answer a few questions. We're going to be addressing some new topics on Tuesday and next week. We're also going to be going back to regular schedule. One of the tough and difficult things is besides my consulting company, I own 2 smaller companies. And I've only recently told y'all since 2021 about the Houston Rock Shop and all that stuff. And we also purchased another company, Mr. Crinkle Paper. I think that's funny, right? But the Crinkle Paper business is quite an interesting one. Those little boxes you put crinkle paper in, it's all crinkled. That's what we manufacture and sell at that company. And we'll be going live. We have the industrial equipment to do so. And I think the people from China are going to be mad. I think they are, because with the type of equipment we have with this company, they thought they had a low price. Well, they're not going to sleep by the time we launch, because when I show them the new prices, even the people in China are going to be pissed off. So I love doing that, because you know what? We need to keep our money in the U.S. and we need to be buying from Americans as well. Well, no matter where you immigrated from, we need to do the American thing. This country's suffering. So, guys, I'll introduce you to that company as soon as we get a full launch on it. So, there's so many things going on, plus the 19 cats, plus kittens, plus trying to manage my personal life. And then you ask me, well, hey, Jay, where's your wife? Where's your children? When the hell do I have time for that? So, I barely get a vacation. And through this pandemic, y'all kept me so busy. I had a 2 month wait. I was working 18-hour days for a year and a half. It got to a point I had a health crisis. So thankfully, things are starting to return to normal. I'm now able to focus in more detail on people's cases. We rolled out a CRM, and we're really getting things done a lot better than we were through the worst of the pandemic. All right, guys. Well, I've enjoyed it all. Looks like Irene Hernandez says, "Where can I find the policies, rules for Section 8? I can't reach myself. I love your work." Well, I appreciate that, Mr. Hernandez. Well, a lot of that stuff's going to go through Nana McKay. Nana McKay is federally authorized to underwrite all policies and procedures for most states. You'll need a good checkbook, around $20,000, $30,000, and you'll need to take approximately 90 or more tests. And form as a business. So, a lot of people think these are manuals you can just simply pull off the internet. They're not. They keep that data, under wraps. Also, my relationships with directors and executive level employees and housing authorities. One thing you guys don't realize is over time, over the course of time, develop relationships with both current and former employees of housing authorities all around America. They email me, they come to my videos, they investigate what I do, but a lot of them are angry about their job, and they see it the same way I do. And a lot of them give me an immense amount of information, including just about everything about their operations and procedures. And so when you have that kind of insight, you truly understand how to persuade the system. What do I mean by persuade? I don't mean persuasion in the way of that we're breaking federal laws or we're having clients lie. What I mean is, if you know how a rigged game's played and you understand their policies and procedures, it means that you can fundamentally change that game. And for that, and our clients, means no more 15-year waits. Okay. In some cases. Now, there are some systems that cannot be defeated. LA the LA Housing Authority has been kicking my ass for years. That's a tough one. They keep a lot under wraps there. Same thing with New York, but unfortunately, I've got too many of their employees that talk on the sidelines and give me plenty. So, that's the thing, is relationships with people. It's not just them, but people that are in political positions that have oversight over many of these things, and also former HUD employees. Now, are they giving me information that's sensitive? To some degree, yes, but not to the degree that it's against the law. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I've enjoyed talking with y'all. I'm glad you had an opportunity to see the kittens. If you want to get a quick peekaboo of little girl, she is crashed. The other two have run off. So we're going to shut it down, and I've got to move on and do some other things today, like some casework. I expect tomorrow, Monday, a lot of you will be breathing down my neck and calling my phone about this and that. So better get some rest. All right, I've enjoyed talking with you. We'll see you again Tuesday. Bye-bye.